All right, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. I am going to be hosting the Mobility Mindset solo today. Sarah is not feeling well, so I will be shooting from the hip here. And I've got Nitin and Angus with me, physio clinic owners in British Columbia. They both own franchises for Kids Physio Group. And thank you both for coming in today.
Thank
Pleasure to
you
be
for
here.
having us. Thank you. Pleasure.
Thank you, thank you. So I'll get right into it. So what drew you guys into physiotherapy in the first place? And because Nitin, you're on my left here, if you could start, that'd be awesome.
Sure, absolutely. That's a quite a big question. So I'll start. My journey has been quite fascinating and full of adventures. And as you know, I'm from India, so I did my sort of undergrad, as they call it here, or bachelor's degree in physiotherapy back home in India, and then I moved to Scotland to do my postgrad. But from the very start, from the very beginning, I was sort of drawn to working with children, because of the unique blend of challenges and the creativity and the reward it brings. You know, kids don't just sort of come with a diagnosis. They bring their personality, their energy, and a lot of limitless potential. So I love the idea that through movement and play, I as a therapist could help shape not just a child's physical ability, but also their confidence and independence. And I think pediatric physiotherapy offers that perfect blend of science and, dare I say, art, blending like evidence-based practice with imaginative child-centered approaches. And that would be one of the big reasons why we do what we do on an everyday basis.
Well, that's awesome and inspiring. Thank you much. Angus, how about yourself?
I love what you said there, Nitin, about how it's that blend of science and art. I totally agree. For me, the catch was I was trying to get into physio school in British Columbia, and with that, of course, comes some volunteering hours and showing that you're contributing to your community. And so I ended up taking a volunteer position with the flagship Kids Physio location, the Fraser location. And I had never even heard about pediatric physio before that point. I had no idea what to expect. I honestly, it was just a blank slate. I had grown up playing lots of sports and doing sports physio, and that's kind of what I thought was going to happen. And day one, I stepped inside the Fraser Clinic, and I was just blown away by the creativity, the joy, this sometimes whimsical setting, and sometimes really fun and engaging sessions that were happening with each and every kid. And I was like, this can't be real. There's no way that this could be my full-time job, doing something this fun, this unique with so many different kids. And so I instantly fell in love with it, and I started my journey with Kids Physio there, and eventually then kept practicing and going down to Australia for that and coming back because I couldn't get enough.
Awesome. So further to that, so Kids Physio is known for being fun, family-centered physio clinics. What does that look like in your clinics specifically?
No 2 days are similar, right? Every day brings its own challenges. And as Angus correctly said, the joy of, I think I speak on behalf of the whole Kids Physio. And Angus, please correct me if I'm going wrong here. Every physiotherapist or every staff member of Kids Physio, whether it's across all the locations in Canada, really looks forward to coming to work. You know, it's not just like doing a 9-to-5 job for us. It's really, we are all very passionate people. We believe in the company, obviously, and what the company stands for, our mission statement and the values. So it is a really fun place to work, obviously, and every day we look forward to going in there because you never know what's going to come through the door, right? You will have your existing clients, absolutely. You might get a really interesting case, which challenges your clinical skills and, makes you think you're on the spot and, jiggles your creative mind as well. So yeah, it's a fascinating place to work. It keeps you up on your toes as well, keeps you engaged mentally and physically as well. So yeah, it's great. I have nothing but great things. I'm still here sitting in front of you representing Kids Physio, so we must be doing something right?
Absolutely. Put yourself there, Angus.
I think this is two-factor for me in terms of that fun side of things and that family side of things. For fun, like each kid is so unique, as you know, and it really starts from the very first session, just getting to know them. Like what is interesting to them is interesting to us. And what we want to do is make sure that session is tailored to things that they enjoy, the games they play with their friends, the things that, bring them joy in their day, the shows they watch, like the books they read. So we weave that into each of our sessions that like we're kind of sliding some physiotherapy exercises in for these kids. And often the therapy doesn't look like therapy. The parents sometimes are like, when are we going to start the physio program? We're well into it. We've definitely started it. So keeping things fun and fresh is definitely paramount there for the kids. And then on the family side of things, is we work with so many families where, just like the kids, we need to get to know the families and what is realistic for them, what their goals are, what's really, really important to them as a family, because what might be important to us as clinicians might not align with their values. And we need to make sure that we are not pitching different messages there. So we're using the families to identify goal setting sessions. We're using tools like the 6Fs model to really do long-term planning. We're having home programs that are realistic and manageable and aren't like 100 pages of exercises that they're just not going to do. So we want things to be, approachable. We want them to be realistic for this family so they get what they want out of therapy and also are progressing towards the goals that are important to them.
Amazing. Okay. So as a follow-up to that, the family-centered piece that you mentioned there, I know that there is a piece that you specialize in that's in pelvic health. How do you bring that up with these families, and how do you make it approachable?
It's such a fun area for me. I think for the approachability, I really set everything on the table right from the get-go, like from the first call with the family and the first time meeting the kid, because there can be this fear that, this is maybe a little bit more of like a doctor style visit. Like we're talking about pee and poo, which are not typically your expectations of physiotherapy. So I'll break things down from the get-go. Pediatric physiotherapy is, for the 99% of cases, we're doing it clothes on. We're chatting about poo and pee. We're working and playing games and setting habits at home. We're not doing anything invasive because it's not appropriate for the vast majority of our families. And we only are ever introducing things that are what the kid feels comfortable with and what the family feels comfortable with. We'll pitch things. We'll give full disclosure of the things that are available to us in terms of treatment and in terms of things we can work on at home. But a lot of kids aren't ready for everything we have. So I always meet them where they're at. I know our team is really great at doing that as well. So making sure that we're working within everyone's comfort bubble and not outside of that. And then in terms of the approachability as well, we're still keeping it fun. Like our first conversation, like a lot of the families will call it, like, I'm the poo guy. And they usually get a giggle out of that. And I'll be like, I talk about poo and pee every single day. And even just like the first mention of those kind of taboo words in the household, the kids kind of start to loosen up a little bit and be like, I want you to tell me about your poo. I know it's a weird question, but we're going to talk all about poo, and like just showing pictures and looking at picture books and things like that, and playing games and being like, you know what, you should also ask mom and dad about their poo and their pee and things like that, and start to break down these taboo conversations. Those are some of the things I try to work with to make things more approachable. And of course, keeping it fun is there as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So to change the gear slightly, not really. So what inspired you guys to bring technology into your clinics in the form of a Trexo? I know you guys you're doing physiotherapy and you're trying to offer all these different potential outcomes for these children. What did Trexo offer you?
I'll let Angus go first.
Thank you. I've been talking a lot, Tim. Thank you. For us, I mean, we were not the first kids physio clinic to have a Trexo roadshow within our clinic. We had the benefit of seeing these incredible experiences happen at the other kids physio clinics like Montreal with the team out there. You see these sessions happening where these kids are having these incredibly therapeutically rich experiences, like things that as therapists, we want to see this gait training. We want to see this partial weight bearing. We want to see lots and lots of repetition and load, but also seeing like these incredible moments of joy between the families, like their families seeing their child walk for the first time. Like hands down, that's what we want to be able to bring to the families in our clinic, to give them the opportunity to try something like that. So it was a no-brainer to try and reach out and see if we can get Trexo within the clinic. And so we had our Trexo experience this summer, and I think we'll talk about it later, but it was just magical, for one word.
Awesome. Thanks. Nitin, yourself?
Yeah, I mean, very similar to Angus, but my journey with Trexo started way back almost 9 years ago. I still have that email from Manmeet, your CEO, back in April 13th. I distinctly remember the date, on 2017, when he was actually, the story behind Trexo, Mark. Obviously, everybody knows who will be associated with the Trexo, that Manmeet, your CEO, had there was a personal story behind that, how the Trexo was invented or devised in the first place. So back in 2017, when Manmeet was still coming up with a prototype, he approached Kids Physio, actually Surrey Kids Physio, to collaborate with him and see if he could try the early prototypes with our client population. And we had just started in Surrey. We were like 3 years old, and we were still trying to build our base. And so that was my first introduction to Trexo, to be honest with you. And always, I mean, even before, as Angus said, we were the first clinic in BC to have a roadshow for the Trexo. And Mark, you were there as well. You remember.
Absolutely.
So I've always been looking at Trexo for our pediatric client because obviously because of the possibilities it offers, right? And the independence it offers. So when I first saw the Trexo, I was really struck by how it allows children with mobility issues and mobility challenge to experience walking or ambulation in a way which feels natural and safe and still motivating enough for them, because it's not just movement, it's about giving them much more than that. It's like almost giving them freedom and confidence and the joy. And obviously, since then, after the roadshow, we were able to bring the Trexo. We were lucky enough to bring the Trexo in our clinical environment and start using it for our clients. And I'm happy to report that right now, we actually created a role called Trexo coordinator. Our client care manager is very much invested into it. And we have a lot of free trials and regular Trexo sessions as well. Just last month, she was like 70% booked or something like that. We saw like 15 to 20 sessions in a month, which was amazing to see. And it has been incredible and transformative. For many kids, it allows them to take the steps for the first time. And, it extends their endurance, improves their posture, strength, and overall mobility, and also gives family a chance to see what's possible out there, which is, I think it's incredibly powerful as well. Even the emotional impact of it, seeing your child upright and moving is just as important as any other physical benefits. So all in all, Trexo is great. We are happy to have it, and, long may that continue.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Yeah. Just it's fantastic. Like, I know I get to put kids on the device when they come into the office. It is an incredibly rewarding thing to see these kids walk for the first time. And being a parent of one of these kids, I know from a different angle how it feels. So it's rewarding for a whole bunch of different reasons.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So your clinics are getting very, very busy. Nitin, if I'm not mistaken, you've opened a few clinics at this point. Is that the case?
Yeah, I have 2 clinics right now,
Okay.
one in North Surrey and South Surrey.
Fantastic. What have you learned about growing a team and maintaining clinical excellence?
That's a big headache. No, jokes apart. Opening multiple clinics has definitely taught me that growing a team is not just about hiring skilled clinicians, but it's also about building a shared culture, a shared working culture and a clinic culture. And I think it's very important for all our Kids Physio Clinic. Clinical skills can be developed by values like empathy, collaboration, and curiosity has to be in the person from day one at the core of it, right? I've learned that maintaining clinical excellence across the location requires obviously consistent training, open communication, and strong leadership models so that everyone in the team feels supported and challenged to keep growing. It also gives the team a sense of ownership. When people feel they're invested in the mission, they naturally uphold the highest standard of care. So for me, it's about, as a clinic owner of multiple clinics, it's creating a balance and creating an environment where not just my clinicians, but non-clinical members of the team can innovate and bring their personality to work, and end of the day, while making sure that every family which walks through that door receives the same level of expertise, the care, the compassion, and hope, no matter whichever clinic they visit.
Nice.
And I would have to add there, and I have to kudos to our franchise support team, which has come up with excellent, I would pretty much say, world-class mentorship program. We use a lot of technology. We have a platform called Ambardar where we have learning modules for our new members of the team. And the feedback that we get from new members of the team who keep adding is incredible. It's way better than anything out there. So we're very proud of that, and very proud of what our support team and the company as a whole has created, because all of us have been associated rather than in some one way or the other. So consistent learning and making sure we, work on our clinical skills is something the franchise team and the support team is very passionate about, and the whole company.
Fantastic. So to that, are there any new technologies or techniques that you guys are employing that you're excited about these days?
Angus?
There's always new techniques that are new to me that I'm curious about. Oftentimes the challenge with that is you're learning something that is really unique to a specific population rather than something you can generalize across a number of your patients. So something that I'm curious to take in the future is there's a really amazing group called the Wired on Development Group run by a New Zealand practitioner named Mindy Silva, and she and her team have come up with a course called the Single Case Experimental Design Methodology. I think it's the SCEDS course, is to bring research and being able to generate new research about pediatric physiotherapy and any sort of field that you're applying this to, kind of away from just the academia and into a more clinician lens, so that we can kind of take some action and take some ownership about creating great new evidence that really supports what we're doing with our kids or supports notions that some things are not to be continued with kids. So something like that, I think, would be really cool to be able to build that into our tool set to kind of have some agency over what we do as physiotherapists. So that's something that I'm really excited about. On the equipment side, I love seeing new equipment come in that can help support our children with like more significant motor needs, both things that are like very complex and incredible like the Trexo, or things that are, refined and simple, like a lot of our clinics have invested in levities lately. And so I think seeing these new advances in mobility technology, I think, is also really cool.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So looking ahead, what is your dream for the clinics and your impact on the communities? If it was a perfect world, what would it look like?
Angus, do you want me to take it first? Is that okay?
Absolutely, Nitin.
Yeah. I mean, dream for the clinic. That's a long sort of a heady question, if I may say so. I will talk about my dreams. My dreams for my clinics, or I should say our clinics, would be the places where every child, no matter what their challenge is, feels supported and capable of achieving more than they can imagine. Because our motto, to be honest with you, and the way why Kids Physio started in the first place was to help these kids achieve their maximum course motor potential. And, so I want those families to walk in and instantly feel they're supported and feel hope, right? I suppose I use this word because of the kind of demographics and the client caseload that I have. I work with a lot of complex neurological kids, with complex neurological needs, mainly on the GMFCS level 3 to 5. So I think that's important. The families feel supported and they feel hope when they walk in. And not just because of the equipment and the expertise that we provide in our clinics, but because of the way that they're welcome or encouraged or included in the decision-making process, So that would be a dream. In the long term, I would like to expand access to, we're talking about these innovative therapies or, advanced handling skills, or incredible equipments like Trexo, so that more children and families in our community and beyond that can benefit. Ultimately, the hope is that, we are able to make it this bigger than just therapy outcomes. And it's about building a culture of inclusion and possibility so that every child's potential is recognized and nurtured. If we at Kids Physio can play our part in that, it will almost feel like we are helping create communities where families are feeling empowered and supported for the future. If we can play a role, as I said, in that, it will almost feel like mission accomplished.
Yeah, I don't think it could be said any better. Thank you very much. That's perfect. If you can add anything to that, Angus, feel free.
I mean, I think Nitin hit it on the head. I totally align with his vision. And I think that also within our Kids Physio mission, it's that we want to reach all kids, not just the kids who are kind of closest to us, not just the kids who can afford it. We truly want to reach all kids who need this support. So yeah, the dream would be that everyone who needs support has that access at the, the right dosage, frequency, intensity that is going to make meaningful change to them. It can impact the greater our influence and reach. That's definitely in the dreams for me. I also think, speaking as like my role as a clinic owner, I think it's an incredible dream to be able to support anyone who wants to have a career in pediatrics. The fact that across our clinics across Canada, so many people are able to chase the dream of working in pediatrics and can support their families and their livelihoods through this incredible profession. I think that's such a cool moment for me to see these people coming in to do their jobs. Their jobs is this, like something that for me doesn't feel like a job.
Thank you both. I guess to end this off, is there anything that you would like the opportunity to say that you haven't said yet?
In terms of, there's that question regarding, what future updates do we want to see to Trexo? And I think something that I always am personally excited about with technology as we go year by year into the future is the ability to take things that are expensive and crazy inaccessible to the consumer at a more accessible place. So to
Absolutely.
see Trexo go from, something that is this wonderful tool, but it's an expensive tool right now. It's got quite a financial burden. To imagine a future where a device like a Trexo could be something that is accessible in any home would be, what a world that'd be. To see the devices like that, to be accessible, to be cost effective, that would be just so cool.
Absolutely. I think our goal right now is to try and get governments on board so that it can be treated as a mobility device like all other mobility devices are. That's, I think, the ultimate solution to the problem. But in the interim, yeah, it's a difficult double-edged sword because it's such novel technology, but at the same time, it is so beneficial to get into kids as early as possible. The cost is just a very prohibitive factor.
I would just like to add something to that, Mark, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
I was just thinking about when you said what else you're excited about, and I know it's in hindsight, I'm thinking really excited about it goes with what Angus just talked about, making Trexo and equipments like Trexo more accessible to the community. I'm really excited about the FDA study that you guys are doing, and study is part of that. Actually, we are part of the data collection thing that we are working with your team and trying to get the data. So excited about that making incredible equipment like Trexo more available to the community. And we are incredibly grateful to Trexo. And I take this opportunity to thank you and your team on behalf of all Kids Physio clinics who currently have Trexo and who might have Trexo in the future, that you allowed us to bring this equipment into our clinic space and provide that access to our clients and the families in the community. So thank you for that.
Our pleasure. We have the same goal. We just want to affect positive change in these kids in a way that we have the technology to do. So accessing this population, we find very difficult. And utilizing you guys as a conduit is a very perfect situation for everybody because, again, aligned goals. It's at the end of the day, it's just to make it better for the kids.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess in that case, gentlemen, thank you very much. This has been nice to see you both again. It's been too long, but I very much appreciate the fact that you made some time for me today. And thank you very much.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
It's been a great time.
Yeah. Have a great one. Take care. Bye-bye.
You as well. Great to see you.